Parents and guardians have been advised to pay proper attention to their wards, preserve their rights, and avoid every form of abuse. This was the submission made by experts in child training at an event held recently in Ibadan, Oyo State capital. Olaide Oyewole reports.
Abuse in all forms are a daily reality for many Nigerian children, as 6 out of every 10 children experience some form of violence. Latest statistics by UNICEF says Nigeria has the largest number of child marriage as a form of abuse in Africa, with more than 23 million girls and women who were married as children, most of them from poor and rural communities. Child neglect is a form of abuse that results in depriving them of their basic needs, such as the proper supervision, health care, clothing or housing, as well as other physical, emotional, social, educational, and safety needs. This 16-year-old boy was a victim of child neglect whose parents are divorced and was left with his sister under the care of their father.
It was 2019 that my mom and my dad has a disagreement. Since then, my mom and my dad were not living together. Then my mom left home with my dad's last born. Then we are 4. 3 of us were with my daddy. Then since then, my daddy were not even providing some need that I need in school, house, even feeding. He cannot provide it. Then it was JDPC when I was in GS2. They assist me.
People should understand what constitutes abuse, so that parents would not neglect their children, thinking that they can do whatever they like. Many people, they neglect children without knowing that it constitutes, a form of abuse against children. So we should enlighten the public to let them know what constitutes child abuse, so that they will be able to take caution in their relation or dealings with children.
On this premise, experts through Justice Development and Peace Commission engaged parents and guardians on how to differentiate between child abuse and scolding a child.
Giving attention to children and then giving them privilege to be children, not as it were abusing their rights. Also, it is important parents should know that, yeah, this is my child, but every child belongs to the government. So whatever you do to a child, you can be held accountable and questionable.
To love their children, to give them time, to win their trust. And when they win their trust, children will be able to come back to them, and whatever happens around them, the children will be free, and the love will translate to not being abusive.
They suggested that giving proper time and attention is important in understanding and giving proper disciplinary action to a child.
So no matter how we try to look for money, we should factor in the availability, being available for children. When they come back from school, what are they doing?
It's not caning that should be the first way of, discipline them. We talk to them. This thing you are doing is not good. Over and over and over and over. When they don't listen, then it is then that we try other means.
Child abuse constitutes one of the major factors causing setback to the society. Identifying child rights and abuse among these children have been described as one of the ways through which this menace can be reduced in the society. Olaide Oyewole, TVC News, Ibadan.
To a bit of politics now, a former secretary to the Osun State government, Fatai Akinbade, says the People's Democratic Party is working hard towards winning the forthcoming governorship election in the state. Fatai Akinbade was addressing members of the party who converged on Osogbo to reaffirm their support for the governorship candidate of the party ahead of the election. Rafiu Hamid reports.
It's less than 4 months to the July 16th governorship election in Osun State. Different groups within the PDP are already strategizing. These are members of a group under the leadership of the former secretary to the state government, Alhaji Fatai Akimbade. They have thrown their weight behind Dr. Babayemi to fly the party's flag.
He has become our candidate, and there's nothing I want to do with the structure other than to collapse it with his own so that we'll be able to have a very big structure to win the election. We should all come together in one unit and work together to win the coming election.
They believe INEC will recognize him as the authentic candidate of the party when the time comes.
INEC recognizing one person as the authentic candidate cannot remove the judgment, the existing judgment, the order that court gave to the other man. So, and there's no way INEC will not obey the court's order.
What we have is a preliminary list. It is important to note also that where INEC and some other bodies may have been misled, they will correct themselves, right? As soon as they receive the right information, and we're working on getting the right information to them.
Dr. Babayemi is the consensus candidate of other governorship aspirants of the PDP, and he says no stone will be left unturned towards ensuring the party emerges victorious.
So what you're seeing is a combination of the ideas, the policies, the things that we've had in mind for 4 aspirants coming together as one. So in the area of infrastructure, we're solid. In the area of education, there's a focus. And I can start talking about those things if you have time.
It will be recalled that the party held 2 primary elections, which produced Ademola Adeleke and Dr. Babayemi on the 8th of March. The matter is before the appeal court to determine who will fly the party's flag on the 16th of July. Rafiu Hamid, TVC News.
Well, elsewhere, the civil society community has continued its battle with the authorities on the need to discourage tobacco consumption in Nigeria. This time, the call for the implementation and enforcement of the provisions of the WHO Tobacco Control Convention and the National Tobacco Control Act enacted in 2015. Correspondent Joke Adisa takes a look at the evolution of the battle against tobacco use in Nigeria.
Tobacco use has been a major risk factor for non-communicable diseases in Nigeria and elsewhere. In 2018, the share of smokers in Nigeria added up to an estimated 2.5% of the surveyed sample. Statistics shows that of the 3.1 million Nigerians who currently smoke tobacco, 2.4 million are daily smokers. The National Tobacco Control Act, enacted in 2015, was the aftermath of years of advocacy by those bothered by the health implications of tobacco on its users. The inscription, the Federal Ministry of Health, warns that smokers are liable to die young, has obviously failed to achieve its purpose. Over the years, WHO established that graphic health warnings are more effective than text warnings for communicating the risk of smoking. In every pack of cigarettes, a set of healthy lungs and another damaged by the effects of smoking are placed side by side, occupying 50% of the entire pack. This is proposed to move to 60% in line with the Tobacco Control Act by 2024. How effective have the graphic health warnings been to those who use tobacco in Nigeria? Oladisun Amosun is 63 years old. He began smoking as a teenager due to what he called peer influence. Oladisun Amosun has smoked for about 50 years of his life, and he says he's not in a hurry to quit the habit.
Right now, they now draw lungs, normal lungs, cigarette-infected lungs. That one will be colored one kind. But at this stage of my life, I buy in packs now. I don't buy single cigarettes again. I see these things, but I don't give anything to it. I don't look at it as anything. Because by this stage, it's just the cigarette I'm after.
He advises the young generation not to venture into the act of smoking so they do not become addicted like him.
I'm saying this for young people who are watching this interview. It's not to encourage them to smoke, but I'd rather advise them not even to go into the business at all, because I feel it even on my body.
Levinus has never smoked in his life. He says the warning signs on the cigarette packs often send shivers down his spine.
Very puzzling. You have those inscriptions on the packet or packs of cigarettes, and you still have people, who patronize, who go buy them to smoke. The government can say, okay, at 18 or from 18 and above, people can smoke. No, you don't know that you are just, signing your death warrant.
The focus now is on the implementation of the provisions of the WHO's Tobacco Convention as well as the National Tobacco Control Act in Nigeria so as to stem the many communicable diseases associated with tobacco use, particularly cancer. This coalition of health-related advocacy groups just ended a series of monitoring exercises across the country.
Most of all these products are being imported, and the attention should not be only on cigarettes. Other tobacco products, like what we've not seen any snuff that has a graphic health warning.
It says implementation has been low, giving room for abuse of the law.
FCPC starting this particular process is extremely commendable, but we want to charge them as Oliver Twist that they should do more and that they could extend that to the entire 36 states.
There is a pattern that the tobacco industry just does not want to be regulated. It's as simple as that. The tobacco industry believes that the government is not going to do anything. The tobacco industry believes that Nigeria is just one place where they can come and dump all manner of illicit and unregulated products on the market.
The coalition believes with regular monitoring and implementation of the law, the health hazards associated with tobacco use, particularly cancer, will be brought to a minimal level. And like Oladisun Amosun advises, the youth should endeavor to stay away from smoking all kinds of tobacco. Joke Edsa, TVC News, Abuja.